If Elder Scrolls 6 is really taking us to Hammerfell and High Rock, we're about to encounter some of the strangest creatures in Elder Scrolls history. From giant desert predators lurking beneath the sands to ancient monsters most Skyrim players have never even heard of. These are 10 creatures that could appear in the Elder Scrolls 6. Let's dive right in and start with Hammerfell and the Wormmouths. Bethesda wants Hammerfell to feel truly different from Skyrim. Creatures like the Wormmouths are a great place to start. These giant boar-like beasts are one of the region's most iconic forms of wildlife. Native to Hammerfell and closely tied to Redguard culture, much larger and more aggressive than ordinary boars, they are often used as livestock and beasts of burden. They frequently travel in herds, making encounters more dangerous if encountered. Think of a wild boar, then double its size and give it a bad attitude. Moving on to one of the apex predators of Hammerfell is the Wormmouth. One of the strangest creatures Bethesda could bring back is the Wormmouth. Native to the deserts of Hammerfell, a bipedal reptilian creature with a giant beaked mouth, survives by extracting fluids from its prey like a spider. Larger specimens have been known to hunt humans, and their tongues are valuable alchemical ingredients. Some of the Wormmouths are even kept as pets. Imagine wandering through Hammerfell's deserts only to get chased by a 6-foot tall maggot with legs. Moving on to the Hajmota. Returning players may already recognize this next creature from Skyrim's Dragonborn DLC, but if the Elder Scrolls 6 takes us around Iliot Bay, the Hajmota could make a welcome return. They possess incredibly thick shells that act as natural armor, and they are known for devastating charge attacks. They are usually found near coasts, swamps, and wetlands, and their shells and claws are valuable crafting materials, which would be interesting to see once implemented into the Elder Scrolls 6 alchemy. These things are basically Tamriel's version of a living tank. And that's where creatures like the Dune Ripper come in. The next creature is one of the largest land creatures in Hammerfell. Hammerfell's deserts shouldn't just be beautiful, they should be terrifying. Specially adapted for life in harsh desert environments, they use camouflage and ambush tactics. They can also hide beneath sand dunes before attacking, and they are one of Hammerfell's most dangerous predators. They are rarely encountered outside desert regions. Being one of the largest land creatures in Hammerfell, you better hope you don't find a Dune Ripper, and you better hope even more a Dune Ripper doesn't find you. And the last creature of Hammerfell is the Lamia. If the Elder Scrolls 6 wants to introduce some truly memorable monsters, Lamias should be near the top of Bethesda's list. These snake-like creatures have been haunting Elder Scrolls lore for decades. They appear as half woman and half a giant serpent. They often inhabit ancient ruins and can be found in the remote wilderness. They are frequently associated with magic and forgotten places, and could become one of the Elder Scrolls 6 most visually impressive enemies. If Medusa and a giant snake had an Elder Scrolls cousin, you'd get a Lamia. Moving on to the creatures of High Rock. Today we'll be looking at 5 of the most craziest, weird and wild creatures of High Rock. We'll be starting with the Centaurs. Moving into High Rock, we have one of fantasy's most recognizable creatures. They are intelligent enough to form tribes and societies, and are capable of communicating with humans. They have existed in Elder Scrolls lore since the earliest games, and they typically inhabit forests and wilderness areas, and they could function as a neutral faction rather than enemies. They could possibly have tribes, settlements, and even function as merchants, and would be a great addition to the world of the Elder Scrolls 6. The Bethesda could finally give us a creature that's just as likely to offer a quest as it is to attack us. As if High Rock's cliffs and mountains aren't already dangerous enough, add harpies into the mix, and travelling through the region becomes much more unpredictable. One of High Rock's most iconic creatures, known for attacking travellers from above. They are extremely fast and agile, and they often hunt in groups. And they could create exciting aerial combat encounters we haven't seen before. Skyrim taught us to fear dragons. Harpies might teach us to fear mountain paths. Next up are the Dragonlings. Skyrim's dragons became one of the most iconic parts of the series, and Dragonlings could be Bethesda's way of bringing dragon encounters back without repeating the past. They are not true dragons despite their appearance. They are much smaller but often attack in groups. They are native to High Rock, and they can use elemental attacks such as fire. One dragon is scary. 5 angry mini dragons might actually be worse. Now we come to one of the strangest creatures on this list. The Land Dreugh aren't just monsters, they're relics from a forgotten age of Tamriel. Ancient crustacean-like creatures, some lore suggests their ancestors once ruled parts of Tamriel. Deeply connected to Elder Scrolls mythology, they possess one of the most alien appearances in the series. They could make for a terrifying high-level encounter, such as a mini-boss. To be honest, Land Dreugh don't look like they belong in Skyrim, they look like they escaped from a horror game. And finally, we come to one of the most terrifying creatures, if not the most scariest and brutally fierce creature that is found in High Rock. Yes, everyone talks about werewolves when discussing Elder Scrolls, but High Rock has another lycanthropic threat that often gets overlooked. Yes, we are talking about wereboars. A form of lycanthropy similar to werewolves, they are strongly associated with High Rock, and they are far rarer than werewolves in recent games. They possess tremendous strength and durability, and they could potentially become a playable transformation like the werewolves in Skyrim. These creatures tend to be taller and more stronger than werewolves, and have a huge pair of tusks to match. You could be walking down a path, looking for your next quest, when suddenly, something nobody expects, a giant demonic boar charging out of the forest straight for you. This is what we could look forward to in High Rock. And those are the 10 creatures that could potentially appear in the Elder Scrolls 6 if Bethesda is really taking us to Hammerfell and High Rock. Personally, I would love to see the wereboar. But what about you? Which creature would you most like to see in the Elder Scrolls 6? And are there any creatures I miss that you'd love Bethesda to bring back? If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Elder Scrolls 6 speculation, gaming news, and trailer reactions. Thanks for watching to all the adventurers, and I'll see you in the next one. Safe travels.